The honors thesis explained. An introduction to the honors thesis and honors thesis process for students in the junior honors seminar. The purpose of this short video is to explain to you that the honors thesis is more than just the next thing, more than just the next requirement you need to complete in your undergraduate education. The honors thesis is an opportunity. This is your chance to do something that you can do in no other class in your undergraduate education. Take on a project that takes more than 15 weeks to complete. If you're a business major, you may create the business plan for a company that you one day hope to create. If you intend to go to graduate school, this will provide you with the writing sample you'll need to get into the school of your choice. If you're entering a profession, this can provide the portfolio of work you can share with an employer. And if you're a creative writer, this is the creative writing project you've always wanted to give yourself permission to write since you started college. The honors thesis is more than something you have to do. It's something that you get to do. Most students entering the junior honors seminar have varying levels of anxiety about the idea of the honors thesis. The word thesis sounds imposing, and some students have heard horror stories about how hard the thesis was for certain upperclassmen. This anxiety is understandable, as you do not yet know what the thesis entails, but let me assure you that you're capable of completing a worthwhile thesis. You will have the support of the junior and senior honors seminar and a thesis advisor, as well as 1 year to 1.5 years to imagine, draft, and refine your project. Many people are working together to help you succeed. How long is it? That's the first question I'm often asked about the honors thesis. And there's only one right answer. It depends. Each thesis is measured against the writing done in your particular discipline. English majors tend to write longer analytical pieces of 25 to 30 pages, or 20-page collections of creative writing. Math majors, however, may write only 6 densely crafted pages of mathematical thinking. The best way to learn how long your thesis should be is to talk to your thesis advisor, and to see examples of previous thesis projects in your discipline, either by coming to the Honor Center and looking at the white binders, or by looking on Digital Commons, which we'll talk about more in a moment. I now want to talk a bit about the arc of the thesis project, how it goes from loose, unstructured ideas to a general topic to a narrow hypothesis. To do this, I want to talk about a thesis from a few years ago. The student author approached me about directing her thesis, and in describing her process, you may get a sense of what your own might be like. This student was interested in writing her thesis on the most famous novel by Jack Kerouac, On the Road. When she first approached me, she had a range of ideas about what her project might be, from an analytical essay to a children's book version of Kerouac's story. We spent a good deal of time discussing her project ideas and what she wanted out of her thesis experience, and found that the analytical essay was the best fit. The student discovered that a new version of Kerouac's novel had recently been published, one that hadn't been written about yet by other critics. She used this new edition to produce an original argument that saw Kerouac's story in a very different light from anything that had been written before. The end result? This student had created serious, original scholarship. So what does an honors thesis look like? Well, one of the best places to start looking is by going to the Canvas site for our course, and then clicking on the thesis specifications page. By following this link, you'll get a Word document that includes what you see on the screen here. The first option for a thesis is a research project, which you'll see a description and what's required for that kind of a project here. Alternately, and equally valid, you can conduct a creative project, which is described here. Every thesis project is different, and different thesis projects across the disciplines are quite different from one another. On the following page, you'll see the few things that every thesis has in common, in terms of how it's submitted and the basic requirements for its formatting. The final page provides a general overview of what the title page should look like, so it's consistent with all other thesis projects that have been submitted to Digital Commons, and you can see that here. To see examples of honors thesis projects, the best place to look is on the university's webpage. If you go to the library site by going to salemstate.edu and then navigating down to the link for the library and clicking on that, You'll then see, under the library resources, as we scroll past the basic searches, a link for research tools and collections. What we're looking for are Salem State's unique collections, that is, things that no other library would have, like our thesis projects. Click on Research Tools and Collections, and this will carry us to this page, again to the Unique Collections link. Click there, and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the link here for Digital Commons. This is a place where scholarship from faculty, graduate students, and undergraduates is published. If we click on the link, you'll then have this screen come up. What we're looking for is student scholarship. So click on the second link down. And finally, you'll see that you can choose honors thesis projects. By clicking on this, you'll then have access to honors thesis projects published online since 2013. These are grouped by year of publication, and for any of these thesis projects, as you can see, you can click on it and you'll get the entire thesis project in PDF format immediately available to you. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll also see a world map demonstrating where in the world people are downloading our thesis projects, how many have been downloaded over the course of the year, just to give some basic stats about how many people see the research and creative work that we do. Another person who will have questions about what an honors thesis is and how you go about creating one will be your honors thesis advisor. The Canvas page that's on the screen right now is for a course that your thesis advisor will be given permission to join after you complete the proper paperwork at the end of the semester. This includes information about the steps towards creating a thesis, how to create the directed study that you'll need, and other information about grant opportunities and conference opportunities that you'll be able to take advantage of. The last resource I want to call attention to is a Canvas course that you'll be invited to join, called Finishing Up in Honors 2019. The page on the screen is from this current year, but this is the page where you'll submit your completed thesis and includes a series of resources that you'll be able to use for finishing up your project and submitting it for graduation. This is the end of the information for this video. If you have any particular questions about the thesis or thesis process, please be sure to contact your instructor to get more information about your particular case.